G'day everybody and welcome back to All Things Essendon. Yes, we're finally back with a new video. I do apologise, it's been a while. I was really keen to try and get lots of content out through the trade period and it didn't really end up happening. I just had some health issues go on, suffer from chronic fatigue, so sometimes it can get a bit overwhelming, life can, and I get really exhausted, really tired. I just need to spend some time recouping, so I'm back. We're really keen to get this draft video out, so we're just going to be doing a draft review and go through the 5 players that we brought into the club, which is really exciting. If you like this sort of content and you like the Bombers, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving the video a like. Hopefully we can get some more videos out before Christmas and then ramp things up as we go into season 2026. We'll get into the 5 players shortly, but I just want to touch base on obviously the refreshness of the list that Matt Rose has done over the past, since he's been involved in the club the last 2-3 years. There's now 12 draftees into the club the last 2 years, plus the 3 mid-season guys that come onto the list. New players, obviously for Fiorini, new guy into the club through the trade. I think it's really good to see. We knew, and not everyone, but I knew that this list was never going to be good enough 3 years ago when you looked at the list that was going to be, top 4 potential. So, and it takes more than one season to really get rid of I don't want to say deadwood, but get rid of the guys that you don't think are going to be part of that success, bring in some new young talent. And that's what we've done really well the last 2 years. 3 top 15 picks, which is awesome. And I reckon all 3 of them are going to be the goods as well. So just before we get one last thing, before we get stuck into the players, we'll talk about the draft pick that we ended up, the draft swap, should I say, that we ended up doing with Carlton on draft night, but it was reported by Cal to me, obviously, a couple of days before the draft, which ended up helping us get Dyson Sharp into the club. It did mean that we didn't have the points really to match a bid for Sweid unless we went into deficit for next year, which I think was a great idea. So I'm glad we stuck with that. But obviously we received pick 9 and 43. Carlton got 21, 27 and 30. They got to match the points for Dean. We had an extra high pick, and obviously we struggled to match the Sweid bid, which ended up happening on the night. So, sucks in terms of I've watched Sweid and I learned a lot of the Essendon diehard fans have, especially this year, coming back from his knee to being a top 30 pick's really good for him and awesome for him. So I hope he has a really good career at Freo, and who knows, he might end up back at the club one day. But I thought I'd just quickly touch base about that pick swap, because that really made our draft night and that little bit better, I think. Also, just before we start on the players, huge thank you to Footy Stuff for letting me use the vision that we've got here in this video today. Reached out to him. He does collates all game vision of the draftee talent and puts it up on YouTube, and he's got a Twitter channel or X channel as well. So he's awesome at what he does, and he was kind enough to let me use the vision for these guys. So make sure you go check out his YouTube channel, give him a like and subscribe as well, and get around him. He's a really good fella, and I really appreciate it, mate. First player, Sullivan Roby at pick 9, 192 centimetre mid forward, I'd say, from Eastern Rangers. Didn't play the state champs, so he kind of really only come on to the scene the last 9-10 games. Didn't get selected for one of the coach teams earlier in the season. He got dropped from that squad. I can't remember which team it was. He went back to Roeville, his local club, played some senior footy. Eastern Rangers, gave him a chance, and he just absolutely blossomed the last 2 months of the year. And he's just a natural freak, I think, talent of a footballer. He's grown a lot the last year as well, which has helped. So he's good at ground level, even though he's quite tall. Reminds me of a Jake Stringer type, I guess you want to call it, a Jake Stringer, Dusty Martin, that mid who can go forward. I don't think he has the class that Stringer had around goals, but does kick plenty of goals, especially in the talent league he did later on in the year. Kicked 4 goals in the granny that Eastern Rangers won. But he also had a 48 or 40 something possession game against Calder Cannons in one of the finals as well, when he was really had lots of midfield minutes. So his potential is untapped. He is obviously that risk because he's relatively unknown. But some of his strengths, obviously, he's got clean hands, mobility is really good. His physicality, he's not afraid to get in and under, really good tackler. His power, I think, is actually almost his biggest strength. He can really just burst from a stoppage, and it looks unreal. It really does. And there's some awesome highlights of that, which you'll probably see on the screen. Scoreboard impact and size and a couple of other strengths of his. Some improvements. I think the major one is his exposure. Obviously, we don't really. It's only really a 2-month sample of him, right? So, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I guess we'll find out. But he looks a beast. He looks ready to play, in footy next year. It's probably just going to work on that fitness a bit. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the team by round 10 next year. And really, he'll play that probably high half forwardish role to start with. I think maybe the Ben Hobbs role. Obviously, no longer on the list, so I reckon he'd fit into that role pretty well and get a spot in the side pretty quickly. And he's going to be really damaging, and he could be a genuine 250 games through the game player, I think, for us. And yeah, he's the untapped potential we're not sure of, but it's bloody exciting to have. On to pick 10. So Jacob Farrow, 187 centimetre mid defender from West Perth. He didn't make the state. It's his WA side originally in the state champs. The squad originally ended up getting into it. Eventually played really good in the state champs. Played more as a defender, distributor off half back, and doing kickouts for WA, but back at his local club, his under-18s team, he played a bit more midfield time. So I think that he'll start off as a defender for the Bombers, I think, like the Zach Johnson halfbacky sort of role, move into the midfield. He wants to get that bigger frame and that sort of thing. But he's actually, I was a bit sceptical of this pick at first, but I really like it now. Going really deep diving into Jacob Farrow. Great skills. His skills are just, he's got a great left foot on him. Really good. He's got good agility, intercept marking, and yeah, obviously his rebounding size. And that's one thing with these 3 guys that we picked in the top 15. They're all quite tall, and they look really solid as well. So we haven't had real tall, sort of strong midfield for a long time. We've had short, nuggety sort of blokes for a decade, I swear. Joe Watson was probably the last one that really worked. So yeah, so he'll start as defender, move into the midfield, I think, eventually. But yeah, he's got so much talent, and I think he's another one that can really go to the next level. Yeah, use that left foot. We love a left footer. And yeah, really excited to see him going forward. Whether he plays next year, I don't know. This is probably the toughest of the 3 top 15 picks that we had. He might really surprise in the VFL. But regardless, the VFL is going to be really fun and interesting to watch next year. I think we've got to have so much young talent playing in that VFL team, and it could be really exciting. So, but yeah, he might get a game. But of the 3, he's probably the one probably least likely for me so far. Now, Dyson Sharp. I can't believe he fell to pick 13, but probably there's obviously those knocks on him about only being one-dimensional. He's not quick on the outside. He not really fast and agile, but I beg to differ a little bit on that. 188 centimetre midfielder, Central Districts, he played league footy finals for Centrals at Adelaide Oval, did well that game too. Was skipper for the South Australian team in the under-18s, under-16s, won the best player for the State Champs Award in both of those as well. He's just so credentialed. He's a born leader, and he's going to come straight into this side, I feel, round 1. If there's any of the 3, he's the one. And he's just, what you're going to get with Dyson Sharp, but I actually think there's lots of areas that he can actually go to the next level in, and he will. Like, as I mentioned, the agility side of things, his pace on the outside, he's been working on that. And if you look at his State Champs highlights for this year, there is a fair bit more of that. And I don't think he's that slow either. So he's in an under as well. He's got good skills, and he's just really tough. Knows his footy. As I said, great leader, born leader. And I'm so excited to have this guy at the club. Bombers fan growing up. And we're going to love having him in the team. We've been crying out for this sort of guy, I think, for a long time. We now got him at pick 13. What a steal in the end with all the academy picks in Melbourne doing their bloody picks or whatever. So super happy with getting Dyson Sharp. It worked brilliantly. And yeah, excited to see him going forward and see him in that midfield with Merritt, Caldwell, Durham, Parrish. There's options in there. He's going to add to that perfectly. And he will need to obviously get that work on a bit of forward craft, because he obviously will probably end up resting there a bit if he plays. There's 5 on the bench now or whatever as well. So plenty of options for him. and but he did kick goals in the state champs, which was good to see. So yeah, can't wait to see him next year. The next player, Max Kondogiannis. I'll be honest, didn't know a lot about this guy when we picked him. Pick 36, tall, lanky fella, defender from Oakley Chargers. He's scrawny as. He's obviously got to build that frame up, you know, and do the Lewis Hayes apprenticeship sort of thing in a year or two in the VFL. But he's so much quick. He's really quick, and he just takes the game on, and I love that about him. Look, watching his highlights, like his state champs, I think was almost just as good as Xavier Taylor's, who obviously was top 10 pick in the end. He played better than Taylor did in the South Australia Vic game. Out and Oval, I was there that day. He took more intercept marks, and yeah, he's more raw, and needs to put on some size. But like, I think it's actually a really good pickup at pick 36 and a bit of a steal. So he's really good aerially, got good hands, reads the ball well. Now a left footer, actually got a really good kick on him as well, really penetrating, but he can hit the short target. And he's just speedy, takes the game on. Like, you'd be surprised how quick he is. So, obviously got bits to work on. Obviously got to work on the frame, probably get a bit fitter. But he's going to be exciting to watch in the VFL next year. Don't know if he'll debut, but maybe the year after you might see him in the side, depending what happens with our key back injuries, because we know what they're like all the time. But he's not more. He's not like play on a full forward. He's more like a Ridley type. He'll play on maybe the second, third tall, be an interceptor sort of vibe. I think Max is going to be. So yeah, really good pickup. Awesome with Matt Rosa finding this one, and yeah, he's going to be a beauty going forward. Now the last, but not least, our NGA prospect Hussein El Achkar. So good to see him come to the club. Obviously, we missed out on Sweid, but a small forward was a need. Huss has plenty to work on, but he's an exciting talent, knows where the goals are. He's freakish around goals, we know that. And when he kicks goals, he can kick bags. I think it was like 3 or 4 games where he kicked 4+ for Calder Cannons this year. Had some really good moments in the state champs for Vic Metro, sorry. And yeah, he's got to fit next to Kako nicely, and he'll play some footy next year. I think he's just got to get fitter. He's got to work on his defensive actions. He can kind of get lost ball watching a fair bit. But yeah, I think once he gets his defensive actions right and really kind of hunt those tackles and that pressure, you'll see Huss go to the next level, because he knows where the goals are. He kicks plenty of them. He's smart around goals. He's got to work on the fitness and his defensive side of things, and you'll see him in the team pretty quickly, I would have thought. And yeah, awesome reward for effort for Huss, and yeah, it's amazing to see him on the list as an NJ prospect, and yeah, really exciting. We've got another small forward on the list going forward. So that is just about it, guys. Yeah, thank you heaps for listening to this. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, let me know what more sort of content you want me to work on. Obviously, anything Essendon, I'll do a video on. So yeah, really enjoyable to be back. And yeah, please like and subscribe to the video, and we'll be back in another video soon. Cheers, guys.